We don't ever know where we're going, do we?
We are going
We're going
somewhere
now.
we've never gone before, John.
That's right. All right, I got my sound effects. Okay. Can you hear your sound effects today? Okay, look, you can hear that? You can hear
I
that?
can hear them today.
Boy.
Although I'm on my laptop, I'm not on my Chromebook.
See, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we need to be on our laptops.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan. Edit here. Hello and welcome to Goatlandia, Grumpy Old Teacher Landia number 15. You know why this is number 15, Scott?
It's is it the 15th today? Is that why?
No, because the last episode was the 14th, and that means that we still have like an episode that's out there in the horizon from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But that means I'm going to put this episode up before those ones.
Is that our Q episode, John?
It might be our Q episode. I don't know. We probably will split it into 2 episodes anyway. But I am going to put this one up right away because we're going to talk about timely stuff. I am Grumpy Old Teacher number 1. I am John Samuelson, Samuelson here. I'll spell mine out like Kurt Rees and Scott Bedley. On the Twitters, Jon. Don't put the H in there. Johns get mad if you spell your John the wrong way.
Your Carippa will sweep the leg if you do.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him defending Johns everywhere. I am Grumpy Old Teacher number 1 and number 1A down in San Diego this lovely time of the evening. We have the one, the only
Task Fair. Scott Bedley.
Task Fair, as he's tagged in tweets for his conference tomorrow, but really they should be tagging Scott Teach. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm doing with Twitter. You know, I obviously need a branding class, John. Should we talk about branding?
Yes, let's talk about branding. Okay, we're done.
You know what? It's awesome. I always think of John Hamm's John Hamm. That was like one of the best SNL skits of the last maybe decade.
I know. Well, gosh, and Mad Men's ending tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Was John Hamm on Mad Men or no?
Yes, he was.
He is.
I
right?
actually know that. John.
Okay, that's good. I knew that.
I don't know Channing Tatum's name, but I do know that John Hamm was on.
I know you don't even know Jonah
Mad
Hill.
Who?
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I think
you know who I do know, John.
Who's that? Father Tim.
And I know that at this time of the evening, he's been in bed for 3 hours probably.
You know who else I thought you wanted? I know who you really wanted me to push, but
I know.
I haven't done it. Mr. Mechnology.
Whoa, yes. It's been a long time since I've heard that beautiful noise.
J-Mac. Jeremy McDonald. Living large in Bend, Oregon. A beautiful place, I've heard. I still have not been there.
It is a beautiful place. And, you know, if I were to relocate to Oregon, I would first relocate to Portland. And then next, Bend would be right there.
Yeah, it's Oregon is a beautiful state. We had a beautiful day today. The sun was shining. The birds were chirping. And we put a bird on everything, so it was good. It's good stuff.
You know what? I have noticed that a lot in the boxes that you sent me, John. It's like there's just birds always chirping in the background. Like literally, I'm not joking here, folks. There's every time John sends me a message, it's like I hear birds chirping. I'm like, wow, they just cough down here in Southern California.
Uh-oh, I see a bird coming in with a new Google sound effect. It's the turkey sound effect. Hey, we got new sound effect. I don't know how.
I love that they've added those new things, John.
I know. Well,
you have the beta version of those, right?
I do. I'm in beta right now. After they heard the last episode, they said, you know what? We need to get these guys some sound effects. And I said, will you add this one, please, for classroom_tech? You just got rickrolled, my friend.
Hey, John, this just in.
Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. Father Tim.
has just locked us down with a new sponsor. So thank you, Tim. And we would like to thank our new sponsor, the Squatty Potty.
You know what? The sound effects are better if they're actually embedded in Google and I have to play them off my phone.
That is the beta version, isn't it?
That is. I need to put like a Bluetooth here, but then it'll throw everything off. So can't do it. Well, you know what? I listened to the last episode, Scott, and so we just put the last episode up, I don't know, hours ago. And we got like 50 listens within the first few hours. And
they were all me, John. They were all me.
And I think for the first time ever listened to one of the podcasts, just because it had been such a long time, and I knew that we needed to edit out some time for that one, and I didn't want basketball talk to get in the way, and it was kind of entertaining. I feel like we're definitely not going to – that might have been our peak right there, and we might be on the way down now.
Well, you know, everything has its season.
That's right. All the leaves are brown. And the sky is gray. Now, that brings us to our first topic. You know what? We're going to talk not education right now, but we're going to talk about one of my tweets that I found on the Twitters, and it is the Spin Top 300 albums from 1985 to 2014. And so you know what I thought would be a fun game? Kurt Reeves would love this game, and maybe we'll let him on to play for the last 100 or something. But I thought we would take the first 100, which would be albums 300 to 200, since in 1985, how old were you, Scott? Were you 16?
1985, I did turn the ripe old age of 16, yes.
Okay, I was 15. That'll show our ages.
I turned 14.
Wait, you're trying to play who's older now? You're embarrassed? That's our whole like motif here is old teachers. If you're the oldest, that means you're the wisest. So anyway, we figured those years were right in our wheelhouses. Like that's when I started buying albums. I mean, yeah, I bought the Grease double album in 1978, and who didn't? And I saw Grease like 7 times, like any other normal 7-year-old at that age. But that was like a big thing for us. We'd go over and be like, I saw Grease 5 times. They'd be like, I saw Grease 6 times.
John, I was not allowed to watch Grease with my family.
Oh, really?
No.
Gene wouldn't allow that to happen?
No, definitely not.
See, the thing is, I watch it now and I understand what they're saying, but when I was 7, I had no idea what they were saying. Like, I had no idea of all the innuendo, all the whatever. I had no idea. I just knew that when he was doing like Grease Lightning and he kind of put the cellophane over his package a little bit. I mean, I knew that was wrong. But
there goes our rating, John.
Right there. Because I said package.
Oh, you meant UPS, right?
That's right. I meant UPS package. But yeah, speaking of Corippo, nothing like the episode that I'll never put up of Techlandia where he is cursing like a sailor.
Did he really?
Oh my gosh, he did. I'm gonna have to get. That's why I can't put it up. I have to go back in and actually listen and edit it out because I didn't make markdowns of when he did or anything. He just kind of slided it in there, and I'm like, wait a second, we don't say that on Techlandia.
Hey, hold on. Hold on, John.
But
it's because he's mad about not having the H in his name, John.
Yeah, we all have a chip on our shoulder as JON people. But yeah,
you feel like one letter shy.
I'll tell you a story, and this can show you how different our families were, though. Bob Samuelson was loving the trips. He was listening the other day, and he said, oh, I forgot about like this little story that I told. My family has like selective memory. But my dad, to his credit, took me to go see Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip when I was like 8 years old in 1978. That's a true story.
Is that after the Mensa people were jacuzziing?
It might have been about the same time. And then the other thing that is I can remember is I remember they used to take me into the drive-ins when drive-ins were a thing. And
yeah, I remember that. That was great.
Well, when I was like 5, they took me to see Death Race 2000 with Sylvester Stallone. And I remember being totally like, they're like, put your head under the blood. Like after I watched some of it where, that's a pretty gory movie for a 5-year-old. Death Race, you might have known it from the. I know
Just
they didn't
the
have
name.
right. I know they didn't have
Didn't
the
tip you off?
internet back then, but you could have checked and thought, Death Race 2000. Maybe I don't want to take my 5-year-old to go see Death
Well,
Race 2000.
it could be the Iditarod race, John. Come on.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, those are all true stories, by the way. So yeah, it's pretty funny. My family, they're interesting. I would like to give a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out right now to my great aunt Pat, who passed away last Tuesday, and she's such a nice person. Lived a great life. She's a great artist, and she has little claim to fame here, Scott. Her niece is Shelley Smith of ESPN, which makes her, I don't know what that makes us. But I've met Shelley Smith before. She's nice.
Cool.
Yep.
And it's we're thankful for those people in our lives that had an impact in some way, and it's always hard to see them go.
Yeah, it's like I said. Do you remember when I told you today? She lived in Pender, Nebraska since 1955.
Wow.
Pender, a town of probably about 2,800 people total. But yeah, I think she lived a good life. If I can live that long, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. If I go out when I'm like 89, 90 years old.
Yeah. I'll take 55.
Yeah, at this rate, I'll take the way I was feeling the other day before the big Signal to Noise music festival. I'll take 45 at this rate.
My gosh.
Holy
cow. Hey, listen, let me tell you, 45 is not so bad, John.
No, I've heard 45 is the new 44.
It is. There's some app. Have you seen this app that like ages you? You like insert a picture or something like that, and it tells you, like, it estimates your age.
Yeah, and it's a Microsoft one, right? You would know about that, Mr. Microsoft Innovative Educator.
I don't know. My wife put in one of our pictures, and it's like she's 27 and I'm like 58.
That sounds about right. I saw that picture of your presentation. Well, it sounds about right, actually. I would have guessed that. When I saw them, they did that for some picture of me with my little Heisman Trophy picture, and it said 41, and I felt really great. And then I remembered that picture was taken 3 years ago, so they nailed it, actually.
That's pretty good if they nailed it. It's a bummer when they think you're like a lot older.
Yeah. Well, we grouch like we're a lot older.
What do you think the picture thing app would say Father Tim is?
Father Tim. Well, I mean, he just had his birthday. How was his birthday, by the way? Was it fun going to the Angels game?
He looks really young. He's a young-looking 72.
Yeah, he is. He is. He doesn't act a day over 63.
It was a great time. It's always good to hang out with him and his family, and he has a tremendous family. So we always have a good time. I remember, John, going back to the 80s and talking music. I remember being at some baseball games with him and when we were just young kids, and him taking me to games, and we were there for like just some big moments like Reggie Jackson's 500th home run and just some different things. Rod Cruz 3,000th hit. I think we were there for that.
Wow.
I know I was there. I don't remember if I was with Tim or not, but just fun memories.
That's good.
Get old.
Did you go and sit in the box with Tim, or was that the next night?
No, that was the next night. He's a VIP. He was in the Legends box behind home plate, where all the right next to Artie Moreno's box.
How does he pull that off?
Well, he's Father Tim.
That's right. He just shows him his ARP card and they let him in.
No, I think one of the people that works out with him that does
Joe Weider.
I think he trades like smoothie recipes.
Tony Atlas.
Smoothie recipes for tickets, I think.
Wait, who's the Gazelle guy? The Tony Little. Tony Little. Father Tim and Tony Little working out together. Go for it. Push it, Father. Push it. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to buy one of those Tony Little hats that has like the braid off the back now.
All right, so we'll give. All right, so we just figured that we would talk a little something. We're going to talk. We know what we are going to talk about that Scott's not going to like, but we're talking about this Teacher of the Year ceremony that you're down in San Diego for tomorrow. You're speaking at it, correct?
It's not a ceremony, John. Or,
What?
yeah,
Wait, what is it?
it's a summit. It's a leadership summit.
I thought they put you guys through like some kind of a hazing ritual. It's like, you are now California Teacher of the Year 2015. Come and drink this blood from a warm yak. It will make you
No, in
wiser.
California, it's a seal. Come
Oh,
on.
okay, sorry.
No, a good friend and a really great guy, Alex Caggiatani, asked if I'd come down and speak a little bit at a conference he put together that brings together some different Teachers of the Year, and it's any award-winning person. You know who's speaking here is Janine Letford.
Yeah, she's there. What, is she in the hotel with you?
She's speaking at the conference.
Of course she is. Why wouldn't she? If they're gonna have you speak, they better have Janine speak. I'd be outraged. Like, you're letting Scott speak, but not me?
Dave Burgess is going to be at this.
I saw that Dave Burgess is going to be there. Will you tell Dave Burgess I said hello?
I will, for sure.
Because he doesn't know me, but I know Ruben really well, and I feel like I know Dave, and we're trying to help. Tell Dave that Ruben and I will help him with this podcast. Ruben especially, I know, because he trusts Ruben. But I mean, if he needs a little sidekick, like a little Johnny Carson, I'll be happy to Google hang out with Dave and feed him the lines, lop him up the softball, and let him hit it out of the park. Teach like a pirate style.
Is he starting a podcast?
Ruben is trying to get him to, and so I gave Ruben what I thought the game plan was. You know, when you keep itching your microphone, you're like making a whole bunch of noise. You realize this, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm not itching my microphone.
You are. You're nervous. Look at how nervous Scott is for the Teacher of the Year thing tomorrow. You are totally nervous about this, aren't you?
God. I'm a total mess.
You're gonna do fine. I saw your slides. They're awesome. You know what? 12 minutes. How bad can you screw up in 12 minutes? Really?
We'll see tomorrow.
Well, anyway, tell Dave Burgess I said hello, and I like what he's doing. After finding out more about his publishing company, I think there are some potential. If you're looking to write a book about education, I still don't know why you would write a book about education when you could just blog. But ask Dave Burgess. Dave Burgess has some ideas. He's trying to bring more voices to the conversation. I know he goes out and speaks, and that's his gig. But he's trying to get bring new voices in, not have the echo chamber of the same people over and over again. You know, it's like I don't know, you get like this myopia, this myopic view of everything. It's like, these are the keynote speakers. Burgess is trying to expand it. I like his style right now.
Yeah,
so good for him. I give my hat, tip my hat to him.
Yeah, no, I think Dave's onto something with what he's doing for teachers through publishing, rather than taking advantage of teachers, which can sometimes happen. That's right. That's
right, because that's what a lot of those publishing companies are doing. They're like, here, you know what? Get 5%. We'll take the other 95%. What? Even eBay's not that bad. Oh, man. All right, so we digress, but let's go ahead. Well, I wanted to talk a little education. So Scott will talk more about his Teacher of the Year celebration in this and upcoming episodes.
Do you want me to really tell you what I'm going to... Okay, so I'm talking tomorrow. I'm talking tomorrow, and I've titled my presentation. It's 12 and a half minutes or something like 12 minutes and 3 seconds. And it's titled The Danger... and I'll run out of time, I promise. It's called...
It's half of this theme music right here.
It's called The Danger of a Single Idea, and I'm just talking about taking risks a little bit and sharing some stories of joy in my life and the dangers of doing some things and stepping out and putting an idea out there, and that you're open for judgment like we are on a regular basis, John.
That's right. You know, that reminds me, we could make up I think a running theme from last show just starting to make up education songs as they come to us. So I think of Pat Benatar. You're a risk taker, teacher of the year. Go down and conference with them. That was bad, but I like the risk taker part of it. The risk taker works. Now we just need to bring in Diane Main, finish off all the lyrics, and it's good.
Yeah, when's Diane coming on the show?
Scene. I don't know. What would you be open? We were talking about this. Would you be open? Maybe we need to just make a song live on the air with Diane.
I think you need to have like a karaoke Landia show.
Yeah, we could do that too. But Diane is, Diane, I was watching her chaperone the prom. She's right in our age group. And so I wouldn't call Diane old to her face, but she fits in with the grumpy old teachers, let me tell you.
You wouldn't call her old to her face. You just say it on a broadcast.
That's right. I'll just say it on this podcast, but she's old like we are. We should have her on.
She is not old.
She's not old.
I wouldn't say that.
But she graduated the same year I did. So if I say I'm old, I mean, we're young at heart, obviously, Scott, right?
What year did you graduate? 89?
88.
Oh, I graduated in 82.
Did you really? Did you fail kindergarten?
I did.
Did you repeat kindergarten? Did you redshirt for a year?
Listen, when you've got mad skills like I do in track.
I had mad track skills too. Okay, so what did you run?
I run the 800.
You ran the 800? So did I. Okay, ready? On the count of 3.
No, I don't even remember my time.
Tell me your best time. 1:50.
I wouldn't even know. 17 minutes.
That was me in the 2 mile, 17 minutes.
All I know is our team shorts were dolphin shorts, and it was always uncomfortable running in those things.
I know that was before the Michael Jordan baggy shorts really kicked in. Although they used to call me, that was my nickname on my track jacket. My nickname was actually Air Jordan because here's the thing. I used to always wear Air Jordan, stuff. So I had baggy shorts and I always had Air Jordan stuff on, like clothes. And then we were distance runners. So I would run a little bit with them, peel off to an alley, play basketball with the sprinters for about an hour, and then run back the half mile. And because I was a really pretty good basketball player. But so there we go. Okay, so speaking of high school, got nothing to add. Speaking of high school, here we go. Scott, give us your number 5 from the top 200 to 300 albums and we're revealing that. By the way, everyone, I have not looked. The document is all blacked out. This will be a surprise. We have made our selections in private.
Yeah, so I don't know what you've selected. You don't know what I've selected. John, in the top, we're going between 200 and 300, right?
Yes.
My number 5 album is a band I love to love, TV on the Radio, Dear Science.
Oh my gosh, that's such a Kurt Reese pick right there.
Kurt Reese likes TV on the radio? Nice.
No, I'm just saying for this one, I could have gone like I picture Kurt. This is how I picture Kurt Reese doing this exercise. I picture him picking stuff like TV on the radio so he can seem hip and cool. Now I believe that you like TV on the radio. I think Kurt Reese just thinks that makes him hipper and cooler. So I can see him selecting it that way. But for you, I believe it. That's a good one. TV on the radio. I don't listen to them too much, but
Kurt would pick Hosier.
Newer songs.
Kurt would pick Hosier.
Yeah. Take me to church. Okay, so my number 5. Okay, I did this, and you can make fun of me all you want, but I was not trying. In fact, I was trying to when I made my picks, I made them all with albums that kind of I played a lot, and I knew almost all the songs on the album. Like I listened to the album, not just like a song. So my number 5 was Coldplay, A Rush of Blood to the Head.
Wow.
I know.
That's a good album.
Right?
That's a good album. I think I have that on my other notables because I made a little list of other notables.
Okay, so that's my number 5. I took Coldplay.
My lover's got humor. She's a giggle at a funeral.
We should have had all these songs queued up, John. What's up with us?
I don't know. Our production value stinks. Well, especially because the Google Hangout on my desktop wouldn't even recognize my camera. Thanks, Google, by the way. Thank you very much for your Adobe update that makes my camera not work now. All right.
So,
go ahead. You go. You want to go number
You
four?
want me to go again, or you want to go?
Okay, here, we'll trade off. So here's my number 4. And my number 4 is Sugar, Copper Blue. Love Sugar, love Bob Mould.
Don't even know it. Never heard
You don't
of
know
it.
Sugar?
I don't know Sugar.
I can't believe. Well, you know Bob Mould, right? From Husker Du.
Who?
You don't know Bob Mould?
I don't know.
Really?
No.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
very interesting. I would have never have guessed that of you. So Sugar, Copper Blue, Bob Mould from Husker Du. You know, they sing, I can't believe what you're saying. Never heard that song?
Still lost, John.
Okay, all right. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, go ahead with your number 4.
My number 4, it's probably going to upset you, but it's the Beastie Boys of Communications.
Okay, now I will give it right away right now. That was my number 1, Ill Communication from the Beastie Boys. So we match on 1 so far.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, Neil, you go with your number 3 since I've already now I'm short.
Number 3 is my buddy, the Snoop Deal Double G.
Ooh.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah, you know, when we talk about this albums, that's just playable stuff, right? That's like the hip hop. They kind of took it to a new level.
Well,
John,
look at that! I matched you on that one. My Snoop Doggy Dogg doggy
on the match game.
That means I feel like we're playing the Newlywed Game a little bit here.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I totally matched you on that one. Snoop D-O double G. You gotta love Doggy Style.
Oh yeah.
Is that the only album from a debut artist to debut at number 1, or has there been somebody since then? Like, I don't know what's her like Nicki Minaj or something. Who knows?
I'm sure there's something out. I don't not for a debut. I don't know.
I remember that was the big deal for a long time because you were waiting after the deep cover soundtrack. You were waiting. I remember we were waiting for Snoop's album to come out. Like, you're like, this guy's got to put out an album here pretty soon. And
right. And it's weird to just call it a debut because he was in so much. I mean, he was in other music before then, so it wasn't really like a total debut. You know what I mean? It's not like he's just out of nowhere.
Right, because he did the deep cover soundtrack, and then he did.
He was Trey.
Yeah, The Chronic. All right, so go ahead. You're 2 ahead of me now, so go ahead with your number 2.
My number 2 is a band that I could listen to while I'm practicing Santeria.
Oh,
that
wow.
Is Sublime. And that may be a SoCal love pick, but I just felt like they –
Look at my number 2.
That. Number 2, Sublime.
We matched on that one, too. Boy, we picked 3 out of the 5 same albums, and I'm interested to see who your number 1 is now. Sublime.
My number 1.
I love Sublime. It's a really long
like
title, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's Rage Against the Machine, Battle of Los Angeles.
Nice. That was so close for me. That was like my number 5. You know, I was like, do I do Coldplay? Do I do Rage Against the Machine? If it was an earlier album for Rage, I might have done the one before. What was the Rage Against the Machine album before that?
Oh gosh, I'm so bad at album names.
It's the one with the boy in the orange. You know, it's got the orange cover with the boy, like Evil Empire. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Evil Empire. Yep.
That one was a lot bigger of a play for me than Battle of Los Angeles. By 2000, I was kind of not as, I don't know, I wasn't as edgy anymore. Although I did see Rage Against the Machine open for U2 at Sam Boyd Stadium, and I think that was the Zooropa tour or whatever, where he got caught in the lemon. That's like one of the most notorious like concerts. But I remember it was like the premiere. And so one of the cool things was we lived right by Sam Boyd Stadium. And so we would go, me and a bunch of the other teachers that were brand new teachers in Las Vegas would drive out and just listen in the parking lot to U2, like their rehearsals.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. And then I remember I wasn't even going to go because we had listened so much. And then somebody had an extra ticket and I was like, yeah, I can see Rage Against the Machine finally. And I would think I was the only one that was jamming to Rage Against the Machine. So,
yeah, Rage Against the Machine, just they're local guys from where I grew up, and I don't know, I just connected to their music because it was kind of like the next, I guess, the next level of kind of that rock rap, in a sense.
Yep.
I put for other notables, John. I have Coldplay, so you have that on yours. I put the Shins. I don't know if you're down with the Shins. R.E.M. Document.
I was close on Document. I wasn't close on Tupac. but
Springsteen was on there. George Michael,
Faith, Control, and Tunnel of Love. I can really relate. Tunnel of Love was really close. When I told the Bruce Springsteen story. That was the Tunnel of Love tour that we went to, where the guy whipped the wheel down, and that was that one. And Faith was a really good one for us, Yeah. So
you gotta have faith, John.
Yeah. So those were all good. Janet Jackson, Control was very close for me too. All right, so those were the top. That was 3 to 200, and that was a little bit more difficult, but 200 to 100 became increasingly more difficult. Yeah. And then I could have put in 10 for the 100 to 1 top album. So I'll be interested to see what else.
Are we not going to reveal any others?
Do you not want to? Do you want to? I was going to save them. Do you want to keep going?
Let's keep going.
Okay, keep going. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'll go with my number 5 then. Here we go. Number 5. Well,
this is between the 200 and 100 top albums, as stated by Spin Magazine, right?
Right, as stated by Spin Magazine, who puts out like 80 articles a day on the interwebs. So I took number 5. I took Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
That's a pretty darn good album.
One that I pretty much know backwards and forwards. That's kind of what I was looking for. And your number 5 is obviously not that. So,
I had Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. I Smashing Pumpkins. It was like a college wheelhouse album for me. It was like that was college music.
We can start going a little bit. I saw the Smashing Pumpkins one time. This is a true story. When they first started, they're a Chicago band, right? So we could see them all the time in Chicago. But one time I saw them at the Aragon Ballroom, and they were the headliner, and the opening band was Pearl Jam, and then the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then Smashing Pumpkins. That was an actual tour. I saw that, and if you saw that lineup now, you would think it would go the exact opposite way of like open to closer. But yeah, that's what happened, because Smashing Pumpkins were in Chicago and everybody loved them.
They were huge for a time.
Billy Corgan's kind of a nut though now, huh?
A little bit.
Lead singer. Okay, I'm gonna go with one of my college albums that kind of changed my. I used to listen to the George Michaels and the Bruce Springsteens and the Janet Jacksons and all that pop stuff. And then the one that kind of started to twist it for me and take me down the road of college music was Sonic Youth Goo. I love that. And then that had Chuck D on it. So that was kind of my crossover. If Chuck D hadn't rapped on, Goo, then I might not have listened. But then I started listening and I was like, holy cow, Sonic Youth is awesome. And I love them.
And, Chuck D, I got to see in concert. Primus opened for him for Public Enemy and Anthrax. And it was the Public Enemy Anthrax Primus tour, and it was insane.
That was a great. I saw that one too. That was a great one. I think I even saw that at University of Illinois. I might have seen that one. I love the Bring the Noise with Anthrax and Public Enemy. That was always a really good one.
That was a good crossover.
All right, so there you go.
You're not going to know this next band, or maybe you will.
I do know it.
Against Me, it's kind of like a little bit of a modern punk rock. One of the few bands that I'm into that's like more of a modern punk rock.
Against Me. I don't think I've heard of them, but then, you know what? That's kind of my mantra right now. You know what, Scott? Everybody net tech's against me, but you know what? I try to be the new wave. That's all I got to say. All right. Yeah, I don't think I could tell you. All right. So, I went like this. Number 3, my least favorite of the Beastie Boys albums, but Beastie Boys License to Ill. I know it's a shocker.
How, really? That's your least favorite, huh?
Yeah, that's the one.
The one that broke it all?
It's the one I wouldn't listen to now. But I loved it at the time, and I could wear it out, and I could rap every lyric on there pretty much backwards and forwards. We saw that tour in the second row at that same Aragon Ballroom, and that was the one where they jumped into the crowd, and MCA smashed my friend Bob that threw the tire down there. He smashed him on the head. So that was always good. He jumped into the crowd, and I think Bob was trying to grab something or like grab his jacket or whatever.
And
I remember him smashing him.
Is Bob still around?
You know what Bob is right now, and I know he'll never hear this, but Bob's a lawyer right now.
He's still telling that story, John.
Yeah, all right, so here's an interesting Bob fact, okay? And this is absolutely true.
Allegedly.
No, this is absolutely true. So
Allegedly.
Bob Mata, you can look it up. It's on Wikipedia, so I know it's true. Bob Mata, this is Bob Mata. I don't know if he's Bob Mata the second or Bob Mata the third or whatever he is.
Is it MATA?
No, it's MOTTA.
Okay, gotcha.
And so Bob Mata, his dad was also a lawyer, and his dad was one of the defense attorneys for John Wayne Gacy. Do you know who John Wayne Gacy is?
Yeah, and I'm totally blanking out, but I
Okay,
know.
so John Wayne Gacy is the serial killer from the Chicagoland area from Des Plaines that used to dress up
That's
like a
right.
clown, and he had all those kids buried, and they found like 30 people. It was one of the most, and I mean, we were like, that was
Awful.
like 19, yeah. And so his dad was the defense attorney for John Wayne Gacy. And here's, I think, an even funnier story is,
It's like being the defense attorney for the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez.
yeah. Well, I always asked him, and he said, his dad said, well, everybody's entitled to a defense. So, I mean, he's right. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go.
So my
Oh,
number 3
great
album
one.
is Run DMC Raising Hell, because that's just, again, that's one of those albums that brought everything alive for hip hop music.
Okay, that was my number 1.
I don't blame you for having a number 1.
There we go. That was one of the ones I can remember. That one, I know that one backwards and forwards too. I used to. Those are 3 concerts I would and then when Run DMC and the Beastie Boys toured together, that was awesome. But Run DMC, Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, those were all people that were no brainers for me. I would drive to go see them.
And my number 2 is the Beastie Boys' License to Ill.
Good. All right, that's a go. All right, so my number 2 is kind of an upset.
No.
For my wife, Blink 182, Enema of the State. I love that album, and I've seen them in concert in San Diego for New Year's Eve in like 2001. I saw them. They're great.
And John, I put on mine, I put 1B, Beastie Boys' License to Ill, because that one was about equal to my 1A.
The Chronic?
No, it wasn't The Chronic. I mean,
Wow.
I love that album, but I could not put Joshua Tree by U2.
That's a good one.
I couldn't pass on it. It was one of the first big, massive concerts I went to see. I saw it at the Coliseum. I camped out for tickets overnight. We got like 18th row center after camping out, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so let's see your notables. You had Blink 182. The Pearl Jam Vitology was tough to leave off there too. Oh, I had Oasis on there for a little bit, and then I moved it off. Oasis, one of the good ones for me. Yeah, all those are good. Eminem, Jay-Z,
Soundgarden.
Yeah, I'm with you on all those. Yeah, U2 Joshua Tree was good for me, and I can probably. My favorite song from that album actually is like Red Hill Mining Town.
That's a great
not very
song.
Popular, but I love that one.
No, but the melody in there is just dope.
Yeah, I always used to listen to that when I was driving from Vegas to Phoenix, because you kind of drive by Joshua Tree. So I'd always sit there and play the Joshua. It was like whatever I drove, that's what I would do. Dorky cliche, but it was still kind of fun.
Where the streets have no name, John.
That's right. Where the streets have no name. Okay, so now the top 100. Okay, I was trying to think of impact on young John Samuelson. So this was the hardest number 5 probably I ever had to pick. And I don't know what I just did. I think I just messed it up. But it's Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses.
Wow. You have that there, huh?
I do, because I just remember sitting in Nebraska at my grandmother's house, and Bob Mott and I were going to go, and we were getting my car for my grandparents. So we flew out to Nebraska, and we got my 1974 AMC Matador, American Motors lime green Matador. And so we were getting ready to drive it back, and we were just walking down the street, And lo and behold, these two Nebraska girls in this small town pulled up to us and they were like, "What are you listening to?" And we hung out with them all night, and they told us how Guns N' Roses was awesome. I went back to Chicago and told people that Guns N' Roses was awesome after we bought the album, and they were like, "Dude, you discovered Guns N' Roses. That's awesome." They totally gave me that one. A true story about the AMC Matador. I drove it to the Forest Preserve, which we used to call the Trestle, where we would go and drink beers in high school and in the woods away from everybody. And I was maybe a little intoxicated, and they go, "Hey John, your car is on fire." And I look over there, and the lime green Matador has flames shooting out of it. And I ran in and I saved my four Coronas that were left, and my boom box, which was probably about yay big. It wasn't much of a boom box. And just watched it burn, drinking a Corona, and everybody remembers that from high school. They're like, "Dude, you're the guy that just watched your car burn." And I was like, well, got to happen sometime.
John, I didn't know we had a car burning in common.
Yeah. Do you have a car burning story?
Oh, gosh, yes. But I had Guns N' Roses as my number 3.
Okay,
of the
that's
top
good.
1 to 100. Yeah, I've got a car burning story. It was a high school car burning story. It was like one of the worst days of my life. I leave work to go say hi to my girlfriend. I have a V-dub square back. And so if you know about those, the engine hatch is inside. So I pull up. She doesn't give me even get out of the car. She dumps me. And then I turn around to leave to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, smoke starts filling up in the car. And I'm like, what's going on? And I turn around, and there's just the whole inside of the V-dub's filling with smoke. And I'm just like, I got to get out of this. So I stop the car and I get out, and there's flames shooting out the side vents. And here comes neighbor guy. He grabs his hose. He starts spraying the car down, right? Starts shooting. I'm screaming at him, "It's an oil fire. It's water does not." So the more he sprays his hose, the higher the flames get. And so my entire Volkswagen Squareback went up in flames right in front of my eyes. Until the fire department got there and shot it all with foam.
That's right. Well, that's what they would have to do, right? That's the foam. Yeah. That's like the foam you used to play in as a little kid. That's what they'd always do at the fire station. But there's a purpose for the foam. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Well, you know what? The funny part about all this is with my Run DMC and Beastie Boys, when my mom left one time, she goes in, and I thought I was being all slick, and I copied the car key. She said, "Don't drive the car while I'm gone. You're home alone," kind of Macaulay Culkin kind of thing. I was 17. And she goes, "I wrote down the mileage right before I left." Now, she could have not said that.
Right.
And it would have been, she could have busted me. But instead, I took this Mitsubishi and I drove it backwards for a block, and the miles actually went off the odometer. So I drove that thing to the Beastie Boys Run DMC Raising Hell concert tour, drove it all around the week. The last day,
it's almost like a Ferris Bueller thing.
No. That's where I got it from. I jack it up like Ferris Bueller, literally jack it up like Ferris Bueller, and I start to run it backwards. The mileage was coming off the odometer. I put the scraper in to hold it, so it's going 30 miles an hour. I'm like, okay, well, in 7 hours, I'll come back and everything will be fine, right? So I leave the house, leave the garage open, crack just a little. It's in the garage. I don't want anybody to come steal the car because the keys are in the car. So I come back later. There's a note on the door from the police, and they say, "Hey." I go back into the garage. I'm like, oh, something went wrong with the car. So I go back there. The oil had leaked out everywhere. The whole thing smelled like carbon monoxide. And the gear shift was you couldn't even move it. It was so just crudded up. And it was hot. And so I kind of looked at it, and the neighbor thought I was trying to commit suicide and called the police. The police came over, and it's illegal to take mileage off your car, but they couldn't find me because I was gone at my girlfriend's house. So anyway, long story short, I was just we tried to clean it up. I knew I was just out of commission, so I just hid until my mom could find me. But that was, if she wouldn't have said anything and made it oh, it's a game and it's on. If she just said, "Hey, see ya, have a nice time," she could have just busted me and said, "Hey, the car's 220 miles over," or whatever. but instead that was my literal Ferris Bueller. It had almost the same results as the movie Ferris Bueller, and my mom still holds it against me to this day. She could have just let me drive the stupid car. That's what I say.
30 years later.
No, she does. She holds a grudge like no other. Okay, so my number 4 album is.
Did I get my number 5?
Yeah, you didn't give it. It's I can see it though. It's TV on the Radio.
Yeah, Return to Cookie Mountain, their debut album. Just good stuff.
You love TV on the Radio, huh?
I do love them. Can listen to them a lot.
You like them almost as much as you like Mumford and Sons' new album.
I love Mumford and Sons' new album. That's for sure.
All right, so I'm going with number 4. I'm going to go with A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory. Love A Tribe Called Quest. Love them, love them, love them. That's all that needs to be said.
Who doesn't love Q-Tip?
I love them. I love Q-Tip, Five Dog, all of them. And Ali Shaheed Muhammad actually tweeted at me one time, so there we go.
Really?
Yeah.
John, I went rap too, but I went NWA straight out of Compton.
Oh, that's nice. That was my number 2 that I will reveal right now to you. Straight out of Compton. Yeah, straight out of Compton. That I know that one backwards and forwards too. That's a high school. That's almost up there as much as License to Ill. For at least in the pantheon of playing a bunch of albums in high school. That, and also I have to say Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. We played that a lot in high school as well. Yeah,
that was played a lot.
Yeah,
about 1987.
So my friends they played Metallica, Master of Puppets. I never got into Metallica.
Yeah. My friends were into Metallica too, and GNR.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Go ahead with your number 2.
You want me to show my number 2?
Okay.
It is a Radiohead, OK Computer.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's hard not to have that one there.
Well, probably one of my favorite of the Beastie Boys album. I have at number 3, Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique. I thought
you're a little Beastie Boys light on your list there, John. I expected a little more Beastie Boys coming out.
Yeah, I didn't want to be predictable and I don't know if I was actually ranking them as I go. Let me see my number 1.
Yeah, I think 5, I guess.
I think I probably would have ranked Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique as number 1 on this one if we had actually been ranked. I don't know. I think I was just kind of going down the list and going in order. I was really disappointed that my favorite of the Beastie Boys albums actually wasn't on the list at all, which I think is stupid. Check Your Head should have definitely been on there, and that's my favorite Beastie Boys album. Check Your Head. So that wasn't even on the top 300. That's Spin. You missed on that one. All right, go ahead with your number 1, Scott. Drum roll.
My number 1 is their number 1, Nirvana, Nevermind. That's a pretty hard one to not have at number 1 for me.
That one, I can remember. I was actually kind of semi DJing in college at that point, and I remember going to my friend the 3 days after that came out on the Tuesday and said, "This is the album right here. You've got to go get this album." Like that wasn't a cliche right there. I'm like so cliche. All right, so I went with an album that was like an older album for me right when I got married, and it was kind of a special album for me that it kind of signaled my new life. Like I was giving up all of that, like Ferris Bueller and Cars on Fire and all that stuff, and I settled down and got to be an honest man from Marnie Samuelson, and it's Wilco Hotel Yankee Foxtrot.
Really?
One of my favorite albums, I know, which makes me extremely white, I know, but that's one of my favorite albums. I've seen Wilco in concert several times. I have.
So were you like compensating by having NWA too?
No, and then I actually have played pinball with Jeff Tweedy, the lead singer of Wilco.
Wow.
That is a true story at Lounge Acts back before there was even a Wilco. That was when he was in Uncle Tupelo, and my girlfriend at the time was in love with Jeff Tweedy, and there he was playing pinball. He was like dating the owner of this bar called Lounge Acts, and I went and played him in a game of pinball, and he kicked my butt. He is really good at pinball. He's about my age, I think. He might be a couple years older.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I put some other notables, John. I put Metallica, Tribe Called Quest, Nas, Green Day, Strokes, Public Enemy, Clips, White Stripes, Madonna, Weezer, Fugazi, Kanye, De La Soul, Eminem, Outkast.
De La Soul was pretty close for me. De La Soul is Dead is a great album.
Yeah.
So there we go. It was hard. I thought maybe I would try and put a little diversity in there with Guns N' Roses. Like it was so tough at that end.
Yeah, it was. It really became hard because an album like Green Day, when they came out, they were just like, I don't know, you listen to them like constantly or something like that. So,
what were your other notables? I don't think I did this part, so go ahead.
I did. How could these people not make the top 300?
Well, Beastie Boys. How could they not? Check your head. How could that not make the?
I put Mumford and Sons. You know that.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a Red Hot Chili Peppers album.
How could they not put
in the top 300?
Sex Magic on there?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, that's a miss. That's a miss.
Audio Slave. That's just kind of like a personal one I like because I like Chris Cornell's voice a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And but Incubus was another one that wasn't on there.
Incubus, I saw them at Irvine Meadows.
Yeah, I was flying out to New York, John, and this was before they became Incubus, and they were sitting on a plane with me, and they were going to perform at MTV, and they had like some like equipment bags, and I'm like, oh, you guys in a band or something like that, and like, yeah, we're called Incubus. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll have to check you guys out. And then, boom, they're on MTV.
There you go. Well, on that same one for me, I can just give you the misses that are blatantly obvious to me. The other one is 311, the Blue Album. For me is crazy that that's not on there. That was probably the album that I liked the most in the 90s was, Down, All Mixed Up, all that stuff. That album I can seriously recite, and that to me was a great album. To not have at least one 311 album, that I think that's a miss for them. Right. I think it's kind of cool right now to like be like, oh, 311, whatever. The 311 is a huge following, and I love them. So
yeah,
there was cool.
There was quite a bit of other kind of edgier stuff that probably people haven't heard of that was a little more punk rock edgy that didn't even come close to getting on their list.
Right. Well, anyway, there we go. That's it for Scott and John talk about music. Yay.
For a long time.
That's a new segment.
And share awkward stories of growing up.
Right. So don't think any less of us for the awkward stories. We're just being honest. Those are honest to goodness stories. And it was kind of like
I made mine up, John.
Okay. Mine were all true. I can't lie about that kind of stuff. I can lie about other things like I know who TV on the radio is. No, I'm just kidding. But I really think I do like one of the new TV on the radio songs, to tell you the truth. I'll have to look it up. I think it might be on one of my Spotify playlists. But yeah, I think it's a cool to make little list like that. And yeah, I don't know. Scott's recommendation right now is I didn't even know Mumford and Sons had a new album until Scott Bedley told me that if he died tomorrow, he wants him to play that whole album and everybody to listen to it. So I listened to it for him, and it is pretty good. I like it. It's different than their other ones.
Yeah, it's a little different. Not too far of a departure, obviously, but
they use drums, it feels like.
Yeah, it's good. I like
they actually use all the instruments. That's a good thing.
Hey, did you ever watch the gosh, now I just totally blanked out on the name of the website, the Black Cab. You should know that, John.
No, the Black Cab. Here, wait. Here's my imitation of all of Mumford and Sons' old albums, and then here's their new one.
But yeah, the Black Cab's
drums.
Have you never seen that website, Black Cab Sessions?
No.
And it's just all these music artists that hop in the back of this cab and they sing music. And
I think I don't think it sticks. I think I've seen some of them, yeah, but I don't think I've actually like. Well, I'll look at it and see. I think I've seen one of them, but I don't think it's like something I visit on a regular basis.
Right. It's been around for a while. It's nothing really new, but they've had tons of people that just, you can discover or that maybe you've already discovered. Kind of cool hipster music, I guess.
It reminds me of that commercial where the people they're like, okay, hey, we want this band, and then it's like the Everybody Talks band. Everybody talk, and they have them on they're like, okay, it's our turn to play for this person. Oh man. Okay, I'm trying to think. Well, you know what? I found a good new app. You ready for this one?
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay, so this one is pretty simple. It's called Air Horn. In fact, it's called Ham Horn. You can just do this. Imagine that to get people's stuff ready. You know?
That's awesome.
Okay, now I'm not going to alarm you, but something just happened, and if I fade away, okay, there it is. That ham horn just sounded, and my iTunes just went all the way over my Google Hangout. It was kind of crazy. So maybe that's the thing.
John, are you there, John?
So I don't know what we've got going, but for the rest of the show, but I do have. I wanted to talk a little bit about Dean Shareski real quick. No, I just want to talk a little bit of education before we left. So I've seen Dean Shareski make these. You know why you haven't seen him, Scott? Because I'm Facebook friends with Dean Shareski, and you're probably not.
I'm not on Facebook.
The humble brag gong is gone. So Dean hipped me to this app that's pretty cool, if you want to call it, and I think it's called Split Lens 2. And you can he's talking to himself, but he's dressed one way in one side and then one way in another. So he's trying to make these kind of lame Discovery Education Network. I guess they're going to have the Denny Awards, which I thought was a thing for the most popular and cheap breakfast, that you could have, the Denny Awards. But I think it's for Discovery Education Network because Dean works for them. Right. And so he's been making these really lame videos with the Split Lens 2 app. And I will say that they're really lame because I love Dean, but I was watching him make it. And so it's he's one of them is a grumpy version of himself. And then the other one is a grumpier version of himself. And so I kind of like watching him because he's so funny, but he's one of them, he's reading a paper at the airport and he's and then there's this other kind of annoying Dean Shareski. He's going, hey, there's only 17 days left till the Denny Awards. And the other, he's reading the paper. He goes, the Denny Awards, what the heck is that? And then it fades to the promo. And I'm like, Dean Shareski, what a funny dude. And he said his kids hate them, so he's going to make lots more. So I think that's great. Dean Shareski, one of the classy guys, one of the keynotes that I don't mind. There's many of the keynotes I don't mind. Dean Shareski, I think, changes it up, makes it fresh. I think he's just genuinely a nice person. So Split Lens 2, if you've seen the Dean Shareski little Denny Awards, I don't think we need any more awards, and I don't know.
I think we do, John. I think we need more awards.
You think we need some more teaching awards?
Yeah, I do.
I think we do. I think the world needs more humble bragging from everybody. Oh my gosh, you know what? I was gonna go up and accept my Denny Award, but it was too bad because I had to go give my Ignite talk at the same time, and I don't know which one to choose from. So, hashtag humble brag. Oh my gosh!
Hey, that's what we call in the business humble brag, John.
The humble brag gong has gone. Ka-chong. So anyway, I don't know, but I guess I can talk a little bit on our big Signal to Noise Film Festival that ruined my life for the past month.
Yeah, tell us at least a little bit about this before.
Well, so it's really great because we had a quad cop, so we had a drone exhibition from a guy that works for the Portland Trailblazers for the first hour, and he was flying a drone around outside, which is cool. The kids get in a limo. We get a little limo to drive them a half a block so they can drop off in the front for all the finalists or whatever. But from 5 to 7, we have an exhibition where there's
that sounds like another award show that I've seen, John.
That's right. Yeah, because you know what we need? More award shows, more competition for kids so they can be heartbroken. But so they've been doing this in Beaverton School District for a long time, and now
that's cool.
My friend Dawn Gildner and I get to take over now officially, where we have taken over We kind of were steered through the process this year, but they have from 5 to 7. They had maker space. They had little bits demonstrations which you could come and use. They had kids that programmed games and you could go and play them. They showed you how to make stop motion video. They had this thing called director's notes where we took some of the film festival's actual entrance, and then we had a high school teacher go through and watch the video with the crowd and then give them suggestions and things that he thought were great about their video and things maybe he thought they could work on. And
Nice.
it's very interesting stuff. And we had exhibitions for people just using the technology from our grants and all those things. And then at 7, we sweep them all into the big auditorium. And then they have this whole to do where we have all these categories are like animation, drama, comedy, PSA, news reporting, music video, interactive, and experimental. And so we have 8 categories, and elementary, middle, and high school. So it goes from kindergarten through 12th. Anybody can enter. And they actually bring up envelopes like it's the real Oscars. And then they will read the nominees. And then after they give the award for it, they'll show the movie on the big screen to everybody. And it went a half hour over, but very cool stuff. And I'm going to make up the website that will show some of these videos so you can see that. And like I said, when I go down to the Mobile Learning Conference, that's one of my sessions. We're going to talk about it and reflect how teachers can actually start in a smaller scale and maybe make it for their school or other group of schools and just try and celebrate student filmmaking and creativity a little bit.
That's awesome.
That's all I got.
John. And worthy of like a month of disaster in your life. It
really was. It was very stressful, but I think if now that I don't know, it's hard to I think I was working with people that were they knew what they wanted. They just wanted to make sure that we understood the vision of it, and we'll try very hard to keep the vision of it going. So it's very interesting. The kids' work is outstanding. Some of it is just outstanding.
That's cool. Very cool.
Give away a couple GoPro cameras to the winners too.
How about that Lily cam?
Yeah, I saw that. That is pretty cool, isn't it? I think we need like a drone.
I want that thing.
Yeah. Well, I've been buying so much Kickstarter stuff lately. I'll have to take a look.
That Lily cam is just like it's swivel with a drone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just legit.
Yeah, no, there's some really cool stuff. Did I tell you that we bought the little guitar thing that teaches you how to play guitar, and it's like
cool,
yay big or whatever. I forget what it's called, but I think it's called the Jam Stick. But yeah, we bought that. My daughter saw that, and she's like, I'm like, I kind of want to learn how to play guitar too. You just sit there. So I think it's coming in June.
That's the one instrument I know a few little things to like how to play on is the guitar. It's fun.
I know nothing.
Hey, the one problem with that Lily cam, John, is it doesn't recognize things that might block its path. So if you don't use it in a wide open space, it's going to hit into something.
Which could be good if you want to walk by an enemy at the same time. Take him out. Oh, I didn't know Arnie Duncan was at this. Oh my gosh, Arnie Duncan just got knocked out by the drone. What's going on?
He's sending drones over your house right now, John.
Yeah, well, I'm really scared. Here, I got something for you. You want to see my Band-Aid from last week? So anyway, do you have any Band-Aids this time, or are you done?
No Band-Aids this time.
All right. Well, I do want to give a shout out real quick because I know Sarah, the teacher, actually is one of now. I think we can add her to the list of listeners of 4, so we have 5 listeners. And Sarah, the teacher, is vowed to take me down in the step contest this week, and she failed miserably. That's right. The grumpy old chunky teacher beat her again. That's 2 weeks in a row. The screenshot will be coming into the ISTE Underground Voxer. Scott, what have we decided for ISTE Underground yet? Any closing remarks? We're going to give us the theme for the ISTE Underground. You've said it very nicely before. What is our theme for the ISTE Underground as spoken so eloquently by Tracy Clark, 08?
I think our theme is giving back to the community that we're traveling to. And so if you're going to ISTE, first of all, come join us at a concert. Come have fun. Do those things too, but find a way to give back to the community and the local community that we're traveling to in some way. John, I do have one quick question for you, though.
Okay.
Is Torkels winning out against...
Yeah, well, have you seen, there's the, here, I'll have to go to it. There's the greatest Twitter handle ever. And the funny thing is, everybody thinks it's me, but I'll tell you right now, it's not.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Okay, well, all right. But I could be fronting, and I could really be laying the groundwork for it is. Okay, hold on. Now this is where two screens gets me into trouble because now I can't get over it, and my Twitter account unlogged in because heaven forbid my camera work. Thanks, Twitter.
And while
Thanks,
you're doing
Google.
that, John, I'll give a quick plug and a shout out to our sponsors, the good people over at Floby.
Are they mad that I cut the commercial out of the last episode?
They were pretty upset. That's okay. We love the people at Floby, as well as our Chia Pet people.
That's right. We do love them. I thought our bits were pretty good, but I don't know how they didn't make it. Oh my gosh, we got tweets from the Empty Rant podcast. They said, "Bro, 311 is the MF greatest."
Wow.
Thank you, Empty Rant podcast. I totally agree with you. I love 311. Okay, so I went to you know what 311 does is 311 on March 11th, and I did this, and it's every other year. They give basically 2.5 concerts, and they'll play one of their whole albums from start to finish. And I went to that in New Orleans one time. I think it was 2008. And oh man, I wish I could get back to one more 311. Like, I mean, it's like they do a whole concert, take a little break, then there's another whole. You have to really like 311, and I really do. Those guys are awesome. So there's a Twitter account out there called Tortor's Ring, which I suggest you follow. It's at TORTORSRING, and its bio says I'm shiny, and
I'm on
it has 26 followers right now.
I'm one of them.
Only 16 tweets, but it's been tweeting out bridal things and tagging a whole bunch of people. I've had people on Voxer go, "We know it's you," or "We know it's Selleck," or "We know it's somebody." None of us are giving it up, so I don't know who it is.
John, listen to some of the followers following Tortor's Ring.
Okay.
You've got you.
I was the first follower.
Edufame, Allison Anderson. Carl's actually following her ring. Thank goodness.
Yep.
He's probably making sure it's safe.
Yep.
Cashley Williams, Kelly Kermode, Tech Tortor, whoever that is. Carippo. Victoria's actually following her ring.
Tech Tortor. I love that. The alter ego of a Canadian rock star. I love it. Oh, wow. Okay.
Sarah's the teacher. Diane Maid, Bill Selleck, David Terrio, like the Jen Roberts, Craig Yen, Travis,
Mark Hammonds.
Mark Hammonds. Yeah.
JRGO, Vicky Sedgwick, Brian Briggs.
It's Waka.
Waka Patu. Waka's following. Oh, where's Sam though? Sam's not following.
Melinda Sears. No, Sam's not following, but Waka is.
Well, Waka's smarter than Sam, so we'll give him that. But
it's a pretty legit account.
That is a legit account. Well,
it already has more followers than me, John. So
yes, and we want to. I think that I looked at your Scott Teach account, and I think that you're getting pretty close to 1K, my friend. And
yeah, I'm only 96 people away from 96 fake accounts away from.
So you know what that, and you know what you get when you get to 1,000 Twitter followers?
I don't know.
It doesn't mean anything.
I thought you were going to buy my ticket to Violent Femmes or something.
No, but I was thinking of a way I could give back to Philadelphia was I'm going to offer this right now. We'll see if he's listening or he listens to the podcast. If Joe Mazza is listening to this podcast, we will go and I will buy you a cheesesteak at Geno's or Pat's. Would you choose? Because Joe Mazza would know he's from Philadelphia.
How about one from each?
For who?
One from each.
Oh, one for me. Yeah, I can eat 2. Look at me, I'm fat. So So Joe Mazza, if you're listening to this podcast, tweet at me. to claim your free Philly cheesesteak, and that'll be my way of giving back.
Bill Selleck's getting really mad right now.
Well, George Kuros, if you're listening, we gotta when I have my blog post. So when we put that one out and I tag George Kuros in it, hopefully he listens to the 30 to 40 minute mark of our last podcast where we just dreamily gush about how handsome he is and how handsome Kurt Reese is.
Is that the hashtag, like cannolis with George?
We should make a hashtag for that. Lunch with George. Croutons with Kuros. I don't know. Crullers with Kuros. Oh, anyway. Kuros is going to be like, I think Kuros would probably uptown Saturday night us now and be like, oh, I've got Paige. Paige is here too. I can't talk with you guys. Got my wife here. Oh, no. All right.
I think he'll talk to you, John. Me, he doesn't even know who I am.
You've talked to him sooner than I have. So thanks for being on before the big Teacher of the Year celebration. Give us the details on the big Teacher of the Year celebration before we go. Where is it at? Where is it at tomorrow?
It's at San Diego State University. It's at a mall.
Alma mater of Reuben Hoffman.
Yeah, and it'll be going on all day. So come over and pop in if you're down in San Diego and watching, which is nobody.
If I was there, I would totally go to that. But then they would say, hey, wait, you're not a Teacher of the Year. Get out of here. Get out of here. Who let you in? Bad person.
You do have to have your badge with you. So.
That's right. Yeah, you have to do like the secret handshake. And like I said, the seals, the pelt, you have to have the pelt of a seal. We know you guys are
sometime, John.
We know you guys are doing something crazy at the Teacher of the Year entourage ceremony. There's something going on there. I think there's limos involved or something. Well,
definitely limos involved.
Thanks for listening to our little rant about music, everybody. We will. I do want to say that you can go to techlandiaradio.com and it will take you. It'll redirect you to iPadSammy.com, my former Gnome de Plume. And I am going to try and start blogging. I just cranked out our Grumpy Old Teachers podcast blog post, and I will seriously try and at least get one up blog post up there. I'm going to try for 3 this week. I'll set it modest, but I'm really in my mind. I'm thinking every single day. So if you like short little podcasts, what'd you say?
That's a good blog post you put up there.
Did you like that one? See, I think I write very poorly. Well, thank you.
I think you're hard on yourself.
I think you're hard on yourself. You are. You should hear Scott on Voxer. I don't mean to call him out on Voxer, but he's like, oh my gosh, this Teacher of the Year thing. I'm like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. He's like, but there are some Teachers of the Year there. And I'm like, but Scott, you're a Teacher of the Year, and your dad was Teacher of the Year, and your brother's a Teacher of the Year. I think you'll fit in just fine.
No. You'll
be fine. It'll be great. And tell Janine I said hi too.
Absolutely.
Will you say? Are you going to remember to tell Dave Burgess that iPad Sammy wants, because that's the only way he'll know me.
Wants a book deal? Yes, I will tell him.
No, don't tell me what a book deal. Tell him I want to seriously help him with this podcast if he needs help getting started.
I will tell him.
Okay, great. And do you have any final words?
I don't today, John.
Okay. I want to thank you, one listener, one viewer who has been watching us the whole time, and I'm assuming it's the same person that was tweeting at us, and it was, let's get the Empty Rant podcast at Empty Rant. So if you guys want to follow somebody, let's give a shout out to the Empty Rant podcast.
Yeah. Empty Rant.
Thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the flip side.